You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. That's the definition of a good-looking person, looking for and finding the good in life. And you have tuned in consciously and conscientiously to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy, the ambassador of joy, because you know that in this show, we discuss the three fundamentals of life. And when you use these three fundamentals, you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? So you're joined at this very moment by about 419,000 people around the world. And by the time we bring on our amazing guest, amazing, wonderful Shawn, there'll be about 425, 430,000 people listening. And I urge everybody, share this show with 5 people. You want to do 50 or 100, it's up to you, but at least 5. That way we can touch millions of people around the globe with our message of joy, happiness, peace, and love. So the three fundamentals of life, of course, are number one, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number 2 happens. This is a good number 2. You go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example. This show is carried over the internet, touching millions of people, God willing. And if you ask anybody, what does WW stand for? They'll invariably have to do with the internet. Factually speaking, they're correct. However, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, WWW stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? WHATA. And of course, a tip of the hat and a big thank you to Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, for enabling that song to go viral and not just touch tens of millions or hundreds of millions, billions of people around the planet. And whenever you hear the opening bars of what a wonderful world, what do you do right away? You can't help it. You smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you're going to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day. That's right, seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I'm privileged to speak to people on a regular basis on the internet and in person. And when I mention the story about Barry Shore, and I talk about seeing miracles, people sometimes raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours. I haven't seen any miracles. And I ask them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. Do you have water to drink? Do you have food to eat? A place to sleep? Your family, your friends? Every single one of those is a miracle. And what's the proof? Simple as proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching or you're listening, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full, to live life exuberantly. Let me tell you a quick story. It's about me. Imagine, if you can, standing up in the morning, completely healthy and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And that evening, I'm in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed, my neck down. It's called being a quadriplegic. And it was not from a spinal injury. It was not an automobile accident. It was a rare disease I never heard of the day before. It takes over my body and renders me a quad. I can only communicate by blinking my eyes. 144 days in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't move. 4 years in a wheelchair, braces on both my legs, and I used to my ankles. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking watch on a tripod, not a biped. Can't walk up a stair by myself. Can't walk up a curb by myself. I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. All because of one word. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day. Now, I got to tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me the other day. She says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile? S-M-I-E-L. I thought about it. Smile sounds the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. out of the mouth of an 8-year-old. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world that she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a fabulous acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. You're going to hear a lot about rethinking from amazing Shawn Nelson, who'll be with us just a couple of moments. So I urge you all to understand that we're talking about just a shift in perspective. Now, I've been dealing with people for more than 4.5 decades. 97.2% of all the people I deal with, they drop the F in shift and the other stuff happens. So you're going to be effing careful with your Fs. You want to shift your perspective just a little bit. And then you know what's going to happen? You can internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. And these are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your path in life and the trajectory. Now, before we bring on amazing Shawn, and for the new people in the audience, we always have 25, 30,000 people every week joining because you're urging your family and friends to do so. And I thank you so much. I'm humbled and honored. We do use a lot of 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word, and I do it because of the shock value and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, are love, life, hope, pray, play, free, gift, swim. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun, that's right. F-U, capital N, capital N. Now, some people right away raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Now, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, you see your family and friends. I want you to point your finger, twinkle in your eyes, smile on your face, and say, F-U, everybody. Remember to add right away capital N, capital N. Like, where'd you get that? I was listening to Barry Shore. He wants to teach the world to F-U. Now you have their attention and you can explain to them all the amazing things we're going to be discussing today, because they are, and they're going to help you live happier, healthier, and wealthier. So before we bring on Shawn, just want to urge everybody to do the following. Use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day, every single day for the rest of your life. And when you do that, you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. And these 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. That's right, to harmonize and nurture kindness. KIND is a wonderful acronym that stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I can't think of anybody that I want to share with you that inspires noble deeds more than amazing, wonderful Shawn Nelson. Shawn, please say hello to 428,912 people around the world.
Hello to 428,912 people around the world. What's up?
Up, of course, that's great language for Shawn, because up stands for unlimited potential. That's who he is. He is the embodiment, because we're going to discuss stuff that you know what Shawn is when I tell you what he is. I don't like the word creator, even though it applies, but the one who built this remarkable process that everybody knows, at least in the United States of America, we have a worldwide audience, called LoveSac. And it's just so inviting and wonderful and invigorating. If I tell you all the stuff about Shawn, it would take the rest of the show. I'm just going to give you 3 data points. Number 1, married, happily married, wonderful wife, and 4 kids. That's the most important stuff about him. Number 2, he understands that people are the essence of building business. And number 3, he's building a business that is built around sustainability, not just a product or a service. And that's one of the reasons I invited him. And I'm so happy that you're here, Shawn. So let's just jump right in and start talking to people right away about your company, which is called LoveSac, 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 which people in the United States say, whoa, I know that, because a lot of people have it. And let's just talk about you, the journey. And by the way, the word joy is a fabulous acronym. It stands for Journey of You. And that's what you're all about. That's what your book, let me save you 25 years. That's what your book is about. Let's talk about the journey, because people love to hear the story, not just of success, but of the process. And how do you go from sitting in a living room, your parents' house, to building a company that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, sold billions of dollars of product, and that people love?
I don't know, man. It's a crazy thing to reflect on. And like you said, it's all in the book. Let me save you 25 years. Really proud, obviously, of what LoveSac has become and where it's going. But people sometimes ask me, okay, if you could do it all over again, because I do believe, by the way, I could have, I think, built the company to where it's at today. We did 700 million in sales last year, if you can believe that, in half the time, if I had not made, some key mistakes that I made along the way. Then people ask me, well, would you do it differently? And that is one of those questions where I have to think deeply, because I don't know that I would. I would not be the same person. I would not have had the same experiences. I would not have learned everything I got to learn, I think, if I had avoided too many of those dark, difficult times. And so we got to be careful not to wish it away.
Let's use that as our jumping off point, because you're a man of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is not just because you are a believing Mormon, is because you live it. You understand that mistakes are things that God has brought for you, not done to you.
Yeah.
And so the dark is dark, and it's a struggle, and it's tough.
Yeah.
And that there's light all around you.
I have a couple of thoughts on that. It's easy for us to look, if you're in business or something, you go to some mixer, you go to some event, and you start talking to people. What do you do? And everyone's story sounds easier than yours. Everyone's business sounds better than yours. Everyone's like, whatever path to wealth or something sounds like the one you should have chosen. And now instead you're making beanbags like me or something, and like, but the truth is, I think everyone in that room feels that way. And if we're really honest, would you trade your problems, whatever those problems are, for theirs if you knew what theirs were? I think our problems are tailored for us. And I also think, I just completed something I'm really proud of. We completed our third Baja 1000. This is the longest off-road race in the world, longest continuous off-road race in the world. It's grueling. It takes a couple days. It's going to, it nearly kills you. We're riding motorcycles through the desert in Mexico, and most of the bikes don't even finish. We've finished for the third time, my little team of old guys like me. But my point is, I also think that if we're willing to seek out some hardship, some difficulty, some strain, then perhaps not only do we get better at it, but it won't necessarily be, we won't necessarily be blindsided by it. I know that sounds maybe a little superstitious, but I think, like, if we're too careful to keep ourselves in comfort and luxury all the time, then this universe, if you want to call it that, or we'll call it God, we'll find a way to make sure we're not totally comfortable and luxurious.
Well, by the way, Shawn, no, he's doing it because he loves me. That one of my books is called Discovering Joy, and we have 11 strategies for living in joy daily. And one of the strategies is getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that was a big call. Thank you. Yes. Getting uncomfortable. We don't seek it out. We don't say, hey, put a pebble in your shoe and walk around. Discomfort will happen the minute you're in the arena. And the arena means I'm in business.
Yeah.
And by the way, everybody's in business. Yeah. I don't care if you think you're an employee, you're not. If you think you're an employee, then this show is all about you shifting your perspective. Am I right on that?
You're
Shawn?
the CEO of your own life, and you're making all the big decisions. And some of them are life and death, or at least, very impactful to you, your family, your kids, and carry, frankly, more weight than some of the decisions an actual CEO of whatever company you're involved with, let's say, makes. Because these are your children. This is your marriage. This is your future. And so you're absolutely in business, whether you're an employee or a literal CEO, and it's the business of your life. And if you don't acknowledge that, then you're just being blown around by every whim and wind that chooses to move you.
So that's another reason why, again, I wanted Shawn to be on the show, is to dig in and not just talk about, hey, we sold $700 million worth of product last year, and that's really cool. We made a lot of money. Our stock is doing well. And that's wonderful, because it helps support not just hundreds of people as employees or people in your company,
Yeah.
but the tens of thousands that are touched by the product, and then ultimately the millions. Now, I want to share with people, and I want you to talk about, please, LoveSac. What a great name, LOVESAC, right? I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. You said beanbags. Okay,
Yeah.
LoveSac's much better.
Yep.
Let's be blunt.
Yeah.
You didn't ever dream of where you'd be today with LoveSac. And at the same time, once you started making and building LoveSacs, well, part of you must have been saying, I would really like to make this thing happen big.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I recently unearthed this funny document so I started this company as a company when I was 21 years old. I was a freshman in college at the University of Utah. And I I found this paper that's like a old computer paper, with like the holes down the side.
Right. Put in the dot matrix printer.
Dot matrix printer. And it was my original, we'll call it a business plan. It was written for me and my buddies. This is maybe 6 months into the company. And I had this little plan, like how we're going to, build this brand, and we're going to take over Salt Lake City, and we're going to appear at this event and that event and sell our stuff. And then eventually it's going to be the whole state of Utah. And it was so funny because, I had these ambitions at a very, very young age, 21 years old, to build a brand out of this funny little beanbag full of chopped foam, whatever, company called LoveSac. Right.
There were no beans in the beanbag.
No beans in the beanbag, and it's an amazing product. And people loved it from day one. I had made the first one 3 years earlier when I was 18, and it was 3 years later that my neighbors convinced me to make them one, and then their friends wanted one. I needed a name, love, peace, hate, war, hippie bag, beanbag, 70s, love bag, LoveSac. Oh, that's cool. Registered the name, and we're off and running. But, here we are today, public on NASDAQ. We've been worth more than $1 billion as a public company before. And our stock goes up and down. This is like, I'm looking at an article on the wall. I got to be on 4. I mean, this is like a dream, right? At the same time, I've got all the same problems. They're just bigger. They're just, but they're the same. I mean, they just have more zeros behind them or whatever. It never ends. And I'm grateful for that. Frankly, I don't believe in retirement. I think
I want to just put the finger on the pulse. You just said, everybody hear this. It never ends. That's the good news.
Ever.
Right.
Ever. And that is the good news, because, by the way, we're not meant to wake up and play golf every day necessarily. We are meant to become. And the only way to become is to wade through. And so we either embrace the suck and the joy that comes with it, I'm smiling as I say it, or we are made miserable by it. And I really believe, and look, I know it's easy to listen and probably just be like, oh, this is some rich guy talking. Listen, I'm being genuine. The problems don't get easier. Your capacity to deal may get deeper, broader, stronger. But the problems just do not go away. My kids, I have 4 kids, and I thought it was super hard physically to be changing diapers every day. We had 3 kids in diapers at one point, living on the East Coast, no family helping out. We'd moved the company out there because we raised venture capital. The investors wanted us that we were out on a kind of an island by ourselves, my wife and I, raising this little family, building a company, all these things happening at once. I thought that was hard. Now, fast forward, my daughter, my second daughter, she's 12 and she's going through it. And I don't know. It may be harder now. I think, the emotional difficulty.
Okay, let's dig deep at what you said. You have more experience, depth of understanding of life, more ability to welcome humility into your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that part of what I love about your book, Let Me Save You 25 Years, when you really understood the need to bring in someone not just smarter than you, more capable, but to be able to hand over decision-making to somebody else, even though you may have been able to do it better.
Yeah.
That ability to be cognizant of recognizing that the company, the mission is bigger than me. I think that's one of the most liberating experiences of any life.
Oh, of course.
By the way, before you answer on that, I
Yeah.
want you to, we have people that love our show and we have sponsors, and we wouldn't have them if we didn't think they were worthy of your time and your attention. So we're going to be right back as this brief message. Don't go away. There's Shawn Nelson. There's LoveSac. It's going to comfort you. Yeah, even though we want you to be uncomfortable. On the other side of this message, don't go. Be right back. Water, wonderful, clean, clear, fresh water. I make it a point to have good habits. And one of the most beneficial habits is drinking pure, healthy water. That's why I use AquaTrue. AQUATRU, AquaTrue. You got to check out this company. AquaTrue purifiers use a 4-stage reverse osmosis purification process. That sounds like a lot, and I'll tell you what it is. It's great because there's no installation or plumbing, and it removes 15 times more contaminants than ordinary pitch filters. I have to tell you, you got to get this remarkable countertop process. The filters are actually quite affordable and they're long lasting. You change maybe once every 6 months or 2 years. So you save a lot right away, not having to buy a lot of filters. And when you use the system, you're getting the equivalent of about 4,500 bottles of water. I mean, think about that. That comes out to less than 3 cents a bottle. Plus, you're saving the environment from all that plastic and such. And best of all, the water tastes fantastic. I love drinking water. And even more importantly, my kids and grandkids love water even more so than carbonated soda. How's that? And if you have pets like we do, our dogs love this water. So I can truly taste the difference. And I urge you, please get the AquaTrue system. Go to aquatrue.com. AQUATRU.com. AQUATRU.com. Put in the code JOY, J-O-Y, at checkout. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and it makes a great gift. You're going to love it. You're going to thank me. Go to aquatrue.com, AQUATRU.com. Use the promo code JOY, and you'll thank me. Best wishes. Bye now. Hi, everybody. I have something special for you. Everybody knows that fasting is healthy. People also know that it can be challenging. However, not with something I recommend and I use, which is called Prolon, Prolon. It's really fasting with food. You hear that? That's right, fasting with food. Now, Prolon is a science-backed nutrition product that helps support blood sugar levels and cardiovascular health. I use it. I recommend it. It's great. It has snacks, soups, beverages, all designed to activate your body's fasting state. And never experienced anything like this. And I urge you to do what I do. I have used Prolon. And if I was going to start a nutrition program, Prolon is exactly what I would continue to use. It's convenient. It's backed by Nobel-winning science. And most of all, it works. Right now, Prolon is offering my Joy of Living listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program. That's right, 15% off. I urge everybody, go to prolonlife.com. That's PROLONLIFE, prolonlife.com/Barry, BARRY, 15% off. Go to prolonlife.com, prolonlife.com/Barry. You will thank me. Best wishes. Bye now. Good day. Beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking. So I was looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Shawn Nelson. He's the founder, the CEO of LoveSac. Yes, everybody in America knows LoveSac. And around the world, you're going to look at them and say, wow, I want one of those. So we'll be discussing it. And now we're talking about the journey of building a brand, of being able to work with other people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Jack and where you were in that process and how it came about.
Yes. Well, let's start with people, as you say. a company of any kind is nothing more than the company you keep. It's a company of people. Even if it's yourself, but you're influencing others, you're selling products to others, you have customers, whatever it is, it's all ultimately about people. And when we lose sight of that, we are destined to have a hard lesson delivered to us. And so I try very hard to be very cognizant of all the people, from the customers to the partners and employees. And along my journey, look, to be an entrepreneur and take it to a high level, you have to have some kind of ego. You have to have confidence and run through the wall kind of attitude. At the same time, you're expected, if you're a good leader, to have humility. How is that possible? And one of the Shawnisms I try to share in the book, I share these 25 Shawnisms for these 25 years in Let Me Save You 25 Years. One of them is maintain confident humility, right? And I believe that there is a way to do both. And when I finally kind of got a little older and I got past my just brash, youthful, run through brick walls attitude only, I really started to learn that, as I brought in people who genuinely had better training than me, they knew more than me, they had different careers. I was raised by wolves. All I knew was this company I started when I was 21. But you have this belief, you start ending up on the cover of magazines and things like that. And you have this belief that, I do have something special. I am something great. At the same time, when you start to learn there are others who genuinely know more than me in certain realms, and they are genuinely good at this or that. And even though a powerful lesson I learned was, even if, as I started to delegate and allow people to really make decisions on my behalf, on the company's behalf, truly stay out of their way, like not just like hire people and then stick my fingers in everything they're doing, micromanage them, but truly give them the keys to make decisions. I started to learn that even though I might have made a different decision, I might have done it totally differently than they did, the way they did it worked. So who cares? They're making me rich. They're making me successful. And I might have another minute to help my kid with their homework or drive them to tennis or something. I'm still fully engaged now. We're 26 years into this business. We're public on NASDAQ, whatever. I'm the CEO, I'm engaged, but I have all of these great people who I've learned to trust. And since I've learned that, not only is my own life so much better, but I'm allowing them to participate and come and get all the satisfaction that human beings get from being autonomous, making decisions, and having fun with it.
So this is the key. You just got the keys to the kingdom, everybody. And I want to focus on something. You used a number of words in the book that I like. One of the words is ask. Yeah. A-S-K, ask. Now, we have a great acronym for ASK, which stands for always seek kindness. Okay. But you've mentioned ask a lot in the book. And Jack, who you hired and became the person who really was able to bring the company to not next levels.
Yeah.
He challenged you and said, hey, kid, what's your philosophy of life? What's your philosophy of business? And I love those chapters in the book because it made you think. Oh. See, as entrepreneurs, we are hard driving. There is no wall. Fine. And if you crash into it and you break your bones and fall, okay, doesn't matter. We just keep going and said, whatever way, around it, through it, over it, around, dismantle it. The ability to think, however, is the greatest of all.
Yeah.
What did you come up with?
It was
this amazing idea.
What you're describing is this moment where as a headstrong entrepreneur, business guy, whatever, I used to get in verbal debates all the time with people like Jack who, and I loved it. I love debate. I love arguing about things. That's how you get to better answers. And I love people that will go toe to toe with me and not just roll over, do what I say or acquiesce. And we used to have all these, but I could push it so far. And eventually in one of these arguments, Jack said, look, man, I'm happy to bring your vision to life, but if I just knew your design philosophy for this brand, Shawn, I could scale it to the nth degree. What is this is him speaking. I worked for Ralph Lauren. I understand his design philosophy. What's yours? And it hit me like a ton of bricks because it was so embarrassing. Here I am 15 years into the business, CEO, been on covers of magazines, whatever. And I can't answer this simple question. Like, what is my design philosophy for this brand? Like, you know, I was good at making decisions and moving fast and getting things done and knocking down the checklists and building out stores and all this, but I couldn't answer this question. So I spent the better part of a year. I'm at the time, thankfully, I'm working on a master's degree. I'm reading lots of books. But I'm really soul searching. And we unearthed this idea that came from observing our customers, interacting with these couches, the one I'm sitting on, that can be with you the rest of your life. And I observed that, like, these couches, because they're washable and changeable and do all these things, they facilitate life and living better than normal couches. You can have your dog on the couch. You can eat your pizza on the couch. And from that came the designed for life philosophy, right? Things that are built to last a lifetime, but can evolve with you as your life changes. And that philosophy, so that's how we make everything now, built to last a lifetime, designed to evolve. There is no other company doing that. And with that, you're going to see LoveSac dominate. You're going to see us grow into the billions, because once we unlocked that, I have a path for the next 25 years. And it came from backing up, stepping away, working on the business instead of being in the business, working on yourself instead of just running day to day, dropping the kids off at tennis only. Like, do we take the time to step back, develop a philosophy for our life, for our business, and then re-engage and live that way? And you will win. It's crazy. And we are winning. It's proof of it. We are a living, breathing case study.
DFL.
That's right.
Designed for life. One of the beautiful parts of that, and I thank you for sharing the process and the story and the struggle. I love it when you mentioned that this is where home meets technology.
Mm-hmm.
And then this gave rise to what we now call a movement. Yeah. See, there was a movement, and it's still, I'll call it dominant just because it's been around for so long, of obsolescence.
Yeah.
To build things that are going to be obsolete is not unusual in American business.
Oh, let me interrupt. It's not just not unusual. Listen, you know, we have this phrase, conspiracy theory. This is not a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy. Listen, it was at first a novel idea to lift the country out of the Great Depression. Hey, General Electric, you know, this is the Department of Commerce calling. Could you possibly make your refrigerators not last for 30 years?
38 years, right?
Because it would be great if people had to buy one every 5 or 6 years. And that began a movement, let's take it into automobiles. Let's put tail fins on cars, so the one you bought last year looks so old and out of date, when the truth is that automobile could have been maintained for a decade or so, but for conning you into thinking it's out of date. And this tactic is so disgusting. It is driving, I'm wearing jeans now that are apparently too tight because they're out of stock. But by the way, there was nothing wrong with them a year ago. But that's not real. That's not gravity. That's not inertia. These are not physical laws. We've been conned into buying too much stuff with a system of where everything breaks. And I am now dead set on spending the rest of my life on earth trying to knock that over. By making couches, you could have the rest of your life because of how they were designed. And by the way, other things on this design philosophy that I think with that philosophy, we will build a lot of fans. We will build a powerful brand. We'll make a ton of money. We'll never be as big as Apple because we refuse to make our products wear out in a year or two on purpose, but we'll be pretty big. And I'm proud of that. And that's something that animates me because, and thanks back to what you said to Jack, because had he not poked and prodded me to really think deeply about what we're doing and why we're doing it, I'd still just be making maybe even the same couches. But without that design philosophy, I wouldn't have a path to all the other products and vision that's coming for this company.
So you heard it here. Designed for life in everything that you do. Certainly people, if you ask some people and say, well, what is Shawn? He's in the furniture business. So he would say right away, that's not true.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. I design products that people enjoy, happens to be in their living room, maybe in their bedrooms, and they're designed to last for their lifetime if they want it, because integral to what I do, my integrity is in that product. My name is on there. It may not say Shawn Nelson. It says LoveSac. By the way, I came up with an acronym for LoveSac. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So love stands for living on vibrant energy.
I like it.
SAC stands for securing America's comfort.
Yeah. Love it. I'll have to plagiarize that. Yeah, you're correct. And it's very intuitive of you. We're not a furniture company. We're a problem solving company. There are so many things in our life. Like, think about this, like your couch. Okay, let's go back to couches for 1 second. It's sitting there, and it causes you to do things like, oh, no, don't put your feet up. Oh, get the dog off the couch. It's restricting your life. It's mildly oppressing you. It's stressing you out. It's disintegrating in front of you, getting stained, getting worse, because that's what couches do. And we've solved all those problems: washable, changeable, movable, rearrangeable. I have Sactionals pieces older than my children in my home, on their 10th set of covers, all this stuff. And it's a whole philosophy that will lead to other products. But what are those products going to be? Well, look around and think, what pisses you off? Like, we love our cell phones, but my son just experienced his first iPhone update. He has an iPhone now. He's 14, no social media, but he updated his phone because it told him to. And then he's like, Dad, don't do it. My phone's all weird. And I said, welcome to the world, son.
Yes.
And by the way, we all just accept this. We all just sort of like, well, I don't know. That's just how it works. Dude, you know how messed up that is? That is so gross. And so my goal, again, long enough on earth.
Yes.
We might be making phones someday. I doubt it. I think we've got other things before that. But that's my point, is like, my goal is not about making tons of money and, building lots of furniture. My goal is to basically dismantle as much as I can this system that we are all just victims of, and wake us up. And the way to do that actually comes from you, the listener, the individual, the consumer. And if we all choose to just day to day, minute to minute, buy better stuff, not only can we buy less stuff, but we will change the trajectory of this world. Like, because CEOs in my seat, I'll tell you, as a CEO, I listen to my customers. And if ultimately they want something different, better, longer lasting, more durable, more valuable, and there's some other company over here doing it that way and winning and beating me, I'm going to copy what they do. Do you follow me? And I expect to be that company that's leading the way.
Right.
And listening to customers who are like done with this BS, because it is BS. And we should be angry about it, because like we're being conned.
Yes, people don't like being conned.
No, but yet we just let it happen.
Well, the reason that we have Shawn here today, and his BHOG, his big, hairy, audacious goal, and he is hairy. Actually, I'm more hairy than he is to at least begin the process to articulate it and to touch. Look, we have millions of people listening because of people who share this and such, and to begin to think this way and recognize that there are products, services that you can have, and if you can't, begin to ask for and demand. And that's all. Companies need to listen, or else they won't be around much longer.
Yep.
And one of the benefits of Shawn and LoveSac is not just that they've been around for 25 years, they keep reiterating the process. So you make it better, and you make it faster, maybe even less expensive for people.
Yeah.
But the price becomes secondary to what it does for people. And that's really one of the things that I love about what you're doing. And again, let's go back to people, because you have now a company that has, thank God, hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of them. People.
2,000 employees.
2,000 employees. Let's be blunt. That's not a small number.
Yeah.
It's an influential group of people because every person influences at least 10 other people. And what they're doing is they're carrying the philosophy of LoveSac. They're
Absolutely.
carrying the philosophy of design for life. And as Shawn mentioned, he just mentioned it offhand, I'm going to go delve a little deeper. In the process of him learning and more about his business, he went back to school, to the greatest design school in America, Parsons, the New
Yeah.
School of Design, got his master's degree. They asked him to stay and teach. And that's just not just a compliment to, hey, he's a good guy, let's ask him to teach. It's because he's delivering a message. And the message is incorporated in a physical something called LoveSac. And it's a message in that he's sharing with the people and the students in his classes and the things that he does and the things that he writes and the other CEOs that he hangs around with. You see, because it's a combination of what I call, or he mentions it also, passion and fortitude.
That's right. That's right. And I think look, as we, all of us, everyone listening, as we experience inspiration and we learn things on this earth, because we only kind of get one trip around, and by the time you start feeling like you got some things figured out, time's up. But I think it's important that we share. That's what this podcast is about, right, Barry? Is you've learned some things the hard way, and you're sharing, and you're allowing people like me to share this little nugget that I feel like I've woken up to. And there are 100, 1,000, a million other nuggets that we can wake up to. But it's important that we open our mouths and we share. And if we don't have necessarily something specific to say, we can be an amplifier for a good message. And I believe what Barry's obviously putting forth is a good, positive message. I believe what I'm putting forth with Design for Life and encouraging people to buy better stuff, even if it costs a little bit more. By the way, ultimately, if you buy Sactionals, for instance, you're going to spend less on couches in your life.
Right.
You're just putting a little more up front. But what's cool is the recliner that we just launched this week. I mean, like today is the launch of our Sactionals recliner. You can add it to pieces you bought, in my case, 17 years ago. It'll just add right in. Like, no one designs product that way. What other things in your life do you own?
Wait a minute. You're my guest and I love you. I want to correct you. You said no one designed. Yes, there is somebody who designs product that way. You.
That's right. And I'm proud of that. And my point is, look, we whether it's this message or some other message, I think it's important that we either have a message or that we allow ourselves to be the amplifier of a message. I was a missionary for my church. I spent 2 years of my life in Taiwan. I learned Mandarin Chinese, and I walked around and I shared what I believed. I did a ton of service along the way. And I mean, I'm so grateful for that experience. But we don't all have to be a CEO. We don't all have to be an entrepreneur. We can choose to be an amplifier, and it can be for whatever, but make it good, because the truth is it's not all good. Like these things that I was talking about earlier, planned obsolescence, the way business kind of works. And when I say business, I mean pretty much all of the business. All the product companies work this way in every realm: fashion, furniture, cars, go down the line. That's not good. That's not good. There are truly evil forces in this world. You're naive if you think there are not. And there are good forces. I want to believe that what I'm trying to do is good.
On that high note of evil and good, we're going to go to a break. Again, we love the people that we have on. We wouldn't have them here if we didn't think they're worthy of your time and attention. We'll be right back on this great idea of evil versus good with wonderful Shawn Nelson on the other side of this break. Don't go away. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey, everybody. You know me, Barry Shore, and you know my story. Standing up in the morning, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. That night, being in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed. Talk about a change of life. I was faced with lots of issues, difficulties, paths forward, if there was to be one. And I'm here to tell you that finding advice from professional people makes all the difference, certainly in my life. And I would urge everybody to consider doing so in your life. And if you've ever had the opportunity to find someone or some two people that are really matched up with you, then you know it makes a difference. I urge you to consider using BetterHelp. BetterHelp, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, so it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill in a brief questionnaire. I've done it to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. This is your opportunity to make a difference and become the best you possible. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/joy of living today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/joy of living. BetterHelp, HELP.com/joy of living. Best wishes. Bye now. We Americans take about 20,000 breaths every day, and we spend an average of 90% of our time indoors. Now, the indoor air that we breathe can be up to 100 times more polluted than outdoor air. That's according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Indoor air pollutants can cause respiratory systems like sneezing, congestion, scratchy throat, and even more serious health problems like lung and heart disease. So what's the solution? Is there a solution? The answer is yes. I'm here to tell you about Air Doctor, the air purifier that helps filter out 99.99% of dangerous contaminants so your lungs don't have to. This includes allergens, pollen, pet dander, dust mites, mold spores, and even bacteria and viruses. I'm going to make a confession. I use it and we love it. Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you don't love it? Just send it back for a refund minus the shipping. Go to airdoctorpro.com. Use the promo code JOY, J-O-Y, and you'll receive up to $300 off air purifiers. Exclusive to my podcast listeners, you will also receive a free 3-year warranty in any unit. That's an additional $84 value. So go and get this special offer now. Go to airdoctorpro.com, 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 and use the promo code JOY, J-O-Y. You will thank me. Bye now.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. You're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. There may be evil out there, but we're pushing it aside because good always does that. The light is stronger than the darkness. And wonderful Shawn was just talking to us about, yes, there are many companies, many businesses, many services where people think short-term.
Yes.
When you start realizing and thinking long-term, and you think about the other, and you think about the benefits that you're delivering what you want to do and creating a movement, in his case, DFL, Designed for Life, that shift, remember, keep that F in place so the other stuff happens. That shift in perspective changes everything. You become the amplifier. I want to talk about something you mentioned that struck a chord with me on the first time we actually met, wonderful Shawn. I see in the book, and it's just, I find imperative, and it's the what you call also, I call it IP. Now, IP can stand for a number of things: Internet Protocol, intellectual property. But as you and I both know, it stands for infinite patience.
Yes.
What is the? most important aspect of being an entrepreneur, a business person, a success in this life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. So yeah, one of the Shawnisms in the book, and we unpack it on my podcast. My podcast has the same name, right? Let me save you 25 years. We unpack concepts like this. I call it maintain top ambition with infinite patience. And this is something I did not understand when I was, 21 years old, getting started, 29 years old in the middle of it. I'd won $1 million with Richard Branson on Necker Island. I still was like a rapacious, aggressive entrepreneur, ready to get rich tomorrow, ready to found 3 other companies and exit and make a bunch of money and try and be the next Richard Branson. And somewhere along the way, after getting kicked in the teeth enough times, I started to learn the power of patience. Like right now, let me give you an example. At this moment, it is the worst market for furniture in my entire life, in our entire lives. It's worse than 2008, 9, 10. And that was a housing-led recession. Why is it so bad? Because during COVID, everyone bought furniture and house stuff. And for the last 3 years now, we've had the slowest growth, most negative growth, not LoveSac, the furniture industry. And LoveSac, thankfully, has grown a little bit because we have lots of momentum, but our growth is way curtailed. And we're wading through it. We want to invest. We want to hire more people. We want to grow. And instead, we can hunker down and just run a good business and make good decisions and not overspend and, not run out of cash and not go bankrupt and not have to do a bunch of layoffs like all of our competitors have done, because we have infinite patience. And if we had to go another year, another 2 years, being patient, not overspending, not trying to force the growth, whatever, I'll do it. I'll do it because what I'm trying to build is 50 and 100 years. I'm trying to build a Nike. I'm trying to build a brand that's here for the next 100 years so it can influence the world in the way I've described, right? And inspire other companies to make better stuff that can last longer, design, all these things. But if I mess it up now by being impatient, and we confuse patience with complacence. They're not the same. I am not complacent. I will do everything I'm telling you I'm trying to do. But when you grow, when you become all powerful is when you can say, I don't care how long it takes. I will make this happen. And in the meantime, I will be patient. So marrying top ambition, the highest ambition you can fathom, with infinite patience is a rare and extremely powerful concept.
It is also a law of success. It's interesting. People hear the word law and they tend to think of the police thing and think judges and like this. Law is a wonderful acronym. It stands for Love Awakens Wisdom. What you just described, wonderful, Shawn, I'm glad you articulated it so well, is the law of success. By the way, would you like to hear an acronym for your name?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Shawn, SHAWN. Success helps awaken wonderment naturally.
I love it.
Because you see, when you're in wonderment, you can have infinite patience.
That's right. And you said success. I think we all want success. It's the timeline that messes us up. You can have the success. You can look, I'm serious. I'm not saying this to boast. I am the CEO of a public company on NASDAQ. You know how cool that is? Like in business terms?
Yes, I do. I know that's very cool.
I built beanbags in my mom's basement with my own 2 hands on a paper cutter. And I did it for years. My point is, and by the way, I'm just getting started. Here's the crazy part. I say that like, I'm a CEO. I'm a baby. This company is in its infancy still. I'm serious. You will see LoveSac grow to be a massive organization worldwide, making all the stuff that matters in your life, the Design for Life way. You don't believe me? I don't care. Bruno Mars. Don't believe me? Just watch. Okay. But it may take a decade or 2 or 4. You can have all the success you want in this world when you start to relax about the timeline and you just commit. And if you get lucky, and by the way, here's the problem. All the articles we read are about these people that because it happens, by the way, it didn't happen for me. It sort of did. I was on the cover of magazines. I won $1 million with Richard Branson. You say, oh my gosh, that's incredible luck. Less than a year later, my company was bankrupt. We had to start over out of bankruptcy after being famous. You know how embarrassing that is? You know how humiliating that is? My point is, we read articles about those that get lucky because those are the remarkable stories. Meanwhile, there's 10,000 more that are in the grind. And that's just way more likely for you. But that doesn't mean that the grind won't lead to the success that you want. It will when you decide.
It must.
It must. It will happen if you relax about the timeline and embrace the journey.
I'm a little bit loath to say these words, Shawn, but our time together is coming to a close. I have 3 questions for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Will you come back again?
Anytime you want, Barry.
Woo! Thank you. Number 2 question. You have only 80 seconds to answer this, Mr. Nelson. What is your most fervent desire?
To be together with my family forever. You know, it's one of the, I'm sorry to take it here, but it's one of the it's the fundamental belief in the Mormon religion that separates it, I think, from every other, is a firm understanding of this idea of eternal families, what it means, how to get it. And I wear this ring on my finger, with the inscription, everything else is dust. As much as we've talked about business and money and billions and success, the truth is, man, it's all dust. It's all just a crucible that I get to grind my soul and body against to refine it and become stronger in this life. But it's temporary. The only thing that is not dust are those 6 diamonds in my ring that represent me, my wife, my 4 children, that I will get to be together forever with if I don't screw it up.
And you won't.
Along the way.
Okay. Number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 436,912 people around the world?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And of course, you're listening to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore, and amazing guest, Shawn Nelson. LoveSac, baby, LoveSac. And the reason you're here is because this show is not about Shawn, great guy that he is, or Barry, what a fabulous fellow. It's about you. YOU, you becoming the best you possible. And you're the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. You fill that sack with love. And then the result will be you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. And remember, use the 3 fundamentals. Your life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, you go mad, you make a difference. And number 3, unlock the power and the secrets. Everybody, the words and terms, WWW. What a wonderful world. Smile, seeing miracles in life every day. Or as my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in, causing rethinking. Listen to Shawn, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. And when you do that, what happens? You shift your perspective, keep that F in place, and then you internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. That's what he said. How you choose to live your life, designed for life. That's you. And use these 6 words and regularly. That you choose to live your life instead of with chance. Use 4-letter words: love, life, hope, play, free, give, swim, and tell the world to F you, capital N, capital N. You do that with a twinkle in your eye, a smile on your face, you'll get your friends' attention, and then you can tell them all the amazing things that we discussed today. It's so wonderful. So I'd like to share a blessing from Shawn and Barry for everybody here. Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Shawn, don't go away.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.